Okay, so apparently you can see me. But my question is, okay, so apparently you can see me. But my question is, okay, so now I can do my video how I want to though. Okay, so now I can do my video how I want to though. Okay, so now I can do my video how I want to though. Okay, so now I can do my video how I want to though. Okay, so because we was for that. Now my question is, because how I had it before, it says connect streaming software to go live, and I am live currently. But how it looks on my screen is I'm on the YouTube studio page, and there's a screen that says connecting the thing and circling, 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 and then there's another thing that says top chat. But then I'm in the video that's actually the streaming software. So I'm seeing what it looks like, but I don't know what it looks like because I'm not seeing it on YouTube. I'm seeing it on my streaming software. And I could have sworn before when I went live on this thing that it was able to, I was able to see it on the YouTube portion and not just through the streaming. So this feels a little bit disconnected. Like if I'm looking on my phone at the replay, yes, I see I see me. I see me on YouTube. You know? But not on my camera. So let's see something. And see, the thing is, if I'm not on the app, I can't see what's happening in the chat. Interesting. But this is what we came here for, to use the camera as our mirror. It's really kind of low key bugging me that, like, if I close this screen out, I'm not going to see nothing on my YouTube screen because that's where I want to watch it at. It says start sending us your streaming video, but maybe if I refresh the page. No, I think it's something wrong, cause I think it's supposed to show up here, and the title, I should be able to change the title. Because right now it's saying that I'm not getting any data from my stream settings. And why is that? And somehow YouTube is not receiving the information. It don't make no sense. I knew something was in, it should be, this is what I'm saying. So, and I disconnected the site, the page, and put it back on through the service, But anyway, what up, YouTube? How y'all doing? We on YouTube. I am at peace. I am calm. I am collected. And while I'm in this state of mind, I am going to use this opportunity to test out my time here on YouTube. So this is what we're going to do. I have a reading that I started a few days ago, and I need to finish it up. So we're going to finish it up. And Because what I wanted to do was, all right, so this is what I did. On the other page, I have another page. And on the other page, I did a little test run just to see what was what. And I did the test run, and it was cool. Everything was what was what. So then over there, I started doing a reading. But then I was just like, I found out that they had a setting that said you can attach a video to this video. I was like, how you linking videos? And then I wondered, could I link a video that was from another page? So I said, well, since we got to do a part 2 to the message anyway, let's do part 2 of the message on another page, and then let's see if we could link the 2 pages. Mm. So that's what we're finna do. Now, instead of me doing readings for everybody else and this, that, and the third, I'm doing messages for myself, but these messages also are helpful for somebody else. So I'm sharing my messages I mean, the way my hair is soft but also dry, like, it's weird. If it could be this soft but also moisturized, you know? So, all the cards are in this book. Let's start with the feather. Okay? And the feather is always in the book. And the feather is always in the book. The feather is always in the book. Alright, so we have the Knight of Coins. Now, what's interesting about this card, specifically for me, okay, is that when I was in Denver, I got this card, and this was right before, well, not right before. I'm trying to think. This was around the time of some of the visuals for the Renaissance had came out, but not the tour dates. Like, the tour hadn't been announced, like nothing like that. You know what I mean? So we just at this point had the music, and at this point just had the visual of a lady on a horse. And I had just listened to that album. And then I got this coin. I have not listened to the second album, so I have no idea what's going on in that regard. But the Knight of Coins, someone is coming to bring you monies. Someone is coming to bring you abundance. Someone is coming with, the things that you need so that you can move on to your next level in life. And you don't know how they're going to come. You don't know how they're going to find you. You don't know nothing. All you know is that they're not going to be able to get to you if you are huddled in a corner somewhere where absolutely nobody even knows you exist. You know? So at some point, you have to say, okay, let me be the light so that I can see what I am in. Because it might not be that bad. It might not be what you wanted, but it might not be that bad. And it might be exactly where you need to be to get you to where you do want to be. And rather than ruin your opportunity because of things that have happened to you, realize that you now are in control of what could happen for you. And as soon as you step out of I'm a victim and step into I'm a victor, then you start attracting victory energy. And then your conversation is I'm a winner, I'm a victor, I'm a this, I'm a that. And then when you get into social settings, you don't say stupid ass shit like, no, what we're not going to do when we get into the public and we in the social settings and we're talking with brand new people who don't know nothing about nothing, we're going to tell them about the things that we want to do. Yes. We want to do our fashion show. Yes. We want to start our own dance studio. Yes. We want to build community. Yes. We want a girlfriend. Yes, 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 yes. The things that you actually want. And the things that are still troubling you, save that shit for your therapist. That's what she's there for. You have one now. Utilize it wisely. Because you're not wrong for having your feelings, and you're not wrong for wanting your space to be a safe haven to have your feelings. But the truth of the matter is, this is not your space. You don't own this building. You just in it to win it. You feel me? So until you have the actual four walls that are actually yours, the ones where if you scream and yell and have an attitude about whatever and say whatever, the only other people who could call you would be a neighbor who is so far away that you would have to be so loud. So safe to say nobody. It would be nobody around. It would be nobody around and you can do whatever. You know that part. So, but also too, we have to trust our instincts. And we also have to trust that we have to protect ourselves, and we also have to trust our gift of discernment and know that if we sense that we are not in a safe space, then to be mindful of that and let's not be dumb. Okay? So we didn't, but we could have also talked about a few other things. And, we live and we learn. And this is what we're told. And that's where the money is, That's where the money is. I think there's this misconception that, especially when it comes to artists, that because we're willing to be foolish, that we have all the answers, And I think we're just willing to be foolish. Also, as a human being, there's this tendency to say and look at someone and say, okay, you carry yourself this way in this regard, in this moment. This is what I'm experiencing from you right now. And so I assume that you carry this trait with you in every aspect of your life. But that's all that it is in that moment, is an assumption. Because you don't actually know me. And you don't know what happened prior to me coming to this moment. So you have no idea all of the nuances that are making up this moment and why I'm choosing to present myself in the way that I am. All you see is this moment. And this is the moment that you're meeting me. In this moment. And so as an individual who is mindful of the fact that every time I step out into the world, it's a brand new opportunity for anybody to meet me, I then have to choose which version of me do I want these people to meet. And honestly, I feel like if you get to see me in a raw state, is raw energy, is raw feelings, I'm unfiltered, I'm unscripted, I didn't think too much, it's just coming out, like a leaky faucet. I feel like if it was me, I would feel honored because in that moment, that individual said, fuck it. Y'all just gonna have to see me in this state of being. Because although I didn't necessarily want to be this intimate with you, here we are. You know what I'm saying? Here we are. And so we have our next card. Now, let me talk to you about this card real quick before we move on too fast. This card is from my original deck that I have had since 2013. This card is of the Rider-Waite deck, which is an older deck than that deck in terms of when it was created. Even though that deck is Tarot of the Ages and it takes you back. And interestingly enough, we put on earlier today ancient lipstick. That was the name of the lipstick, Ancient. But it was weird. I put it on and I felt like I looked like Cardi B for a second. But, and then it just reminded me of being in the 90s. And being in the 90s is not that much old. Like, it's not that old ago. But people are loving the 90s. They think it's such a nostalgic time. You know, it's interesting. It's like the 90s is the new 70s. You know, people love the 70s. They do. But the kids nowadays, when they're thinking of an era to go back to and they feel fond of and that makes them, that put feel goods in their system, it's the 90s. And that warms my heart because I was a kid in the 90s, you know, and I feel like on a level I was a part of that feel good. If I didn't exist during that time and was doing my thing and being just the person that I am during that time specifically, it wouldn't be a trend. It wouldn't be a characteristic of that time frame to have that type of feeling. You know, it could be associated with the Depression era. It could be associated with the silent era. It could be associated with baby booming. You know, it's not. The 90s isn't associated with nostalgia. You know, like culture uprising with the modern twist. It was unapologetic and we doing what we want to do and we don't give a fuck what you got to say about it. Because we raised our fucking selves. We raised our fucking selves. You know, we was the latchkey kids. We was the latchkey kids just out in the street. You know, some of us had after school to go to, but at a certain age, some of us did not. And there was no auntie and there was no place to go. And even though I was in dance school or in a dance company, that's only one day a week. And dance school is on Saturday. So when I'm supposed to do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. The rest of the week. You know, basically you were supposed to have your key and sit inside the house and wait till your parents get home. And that was supposed to be your life every single day. And if you could have done that every single day, you know, imagine a child that was disciplined enough to say, okay, it would have had to have been beaten into me. Or, like, something so impactful. I'm not going to say traumatic because I don't think trauma has to do the thing. But something so impactful to have me sit down and say, and it would have been heavy. Whatever it was, it would have been heavy. And I would have been walking around with that heaviness as a child. The weight of the responsibility of having keys to a home. Oh, not just a home, the family home. You know what I'm saying? You got the keys to the family home. Then you got the keys to the business. You know, all before I even knew how to put a tampon in. All before I even knew what the fuck a tampon even the fuck was. You know, maybe God is trying to do a solid for me, the universe, and be like, you've already had a lifetime of so much responsibility. Maybe you can just receive without having to do so much. Maybe you can just be yourself. Maybe you could just get on this camera and tell your story and speak and just do whatever it is that the fuck you want to do. And people will resonate with that, you know? And because they resonate with that, they're going to want to hang out with you just because they want to find out more about you, because people like to connect with people. And they're going to want to connect with you. So all you got to do is say yes to the connection and not worry so much about anything else other than that. Because why would you want to put yourself in a position where you have even more responsibility, especially right now when you do not have the team to take on the types of projects that you have been conjuring up? You know, and it's not to say that your dreams couldn't come to fruition, because trust me, they're all sound. It's one of those things where it's like, it's a big idea, but it's also, but I see the practicality in it, you know? And because the idea can be brought down to this realm and actually made into something that is real, it's like, put the cart behind you. You be the horse. But then don't be the horse. Be the rider with the coin in your hand, saying, I got the money. And now that I got the money, I can make the things happen. Because this is this next card, which is the Four of Cups, you know, and it's very much given like, you have all these things that's sitting in front of you, but you upset about it. Somehow it's not emotionally fulfilling you. So then boom, here's the universe with this other cup. This other cup. It's like you too busy looking at the cups that you made. Yes, these was the businesses that you came up with. Yes, these was the ideas that you wanted to do. Yes, da 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 da. Yes, 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 yes. But what about this? Because this cup is coming from the spiritual realm. This cup is coming from a different perspective. This cup is coming from, I remember what it was like when you experience all these other things that you forgot about. And so I don't want to see you keep putting yourself in the same position. So if you truly want different for yourself, then you have to do different for yourself. And doing different for yourself in this moment means doing something different for yourself in this moment. This is different for me. Live on YouTube, it's not different in the sense of I've been live on other platforms, but YouTube is a whole nother situation, you know? And I was live on YouTube before. It's not like I haven't been here before. But to be intentional, to say, you know what, I'm just gonna make this my platform where I come on and I start speaking to people, and or really just to myself, and organically see what happens, you know? On my other platform, I could tell people, you know, please come check me out on YouTube because this is where it's really going down. This is where we're having the real conversations, you know, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Our next card. What goes around comes around. This is from our City of Dreams Oracle. I got this deck because I was feeling a little homesick and missing New York, which is crazy because New York, like, it's like missing somebody who treats you like shit. You know what I mean? Like, New York definitely did me dirty. New York definitely did me dirty. New York just. She did me dirty, you know. It's like you gotta love it or else you hate it. That's how I feel about it. If I don't love it, I would hate it. And I don't have, I'm not interested in having hateful energy in my heart. So, you know, it's crazy because it's like when things are not actually the way they seem and you are trying to make a life out of the things that is what it seems versus what it actually is, that's where you get fucked up. And you're trying to figure out how are other people successful. And either they're not really successful, they're getting fucked up, they're just not telling you, or they don't know that they're getting fucked up. So let's move on. Because what goes around comes around, you know? And not for nothing, but it's not a good idea to fuck people over, you know? And not just me personally, but like I'm learning, you know? I do not want to be on the receiving end of people, of someone upset with me, you know? Nobody does. Even the people who cause other people to be upset don't want to be on the receiving end of the upsetness that they have caused. So they plead to the gods and they're like, oh my God, protect me from the bullshit that I have. You know, it's like the audacity. It's like, just don't do it. Or be ready to take the L. Because that's not fair. It's not fair. And then we have this Tibuta, feeling safe. This is from my newest deck, African Goddess Rising. Mm. You know, and it's interesting that it's the number 4 because we in the 4 month, and you know, ever since there's been a shift in energy in this side of the building. You know, some people have moved out, some people have moved in, and it's interesting because people bring with them all of them, you know. So this is another reason why I personally don't like living in an apartment complex, because it's like I'm dealing with not just my own team, but when I leave my dwelling, I'm now sharing. It's like, you know, it's all of these teams mixed in together. So it's just like, and some teams work together and some teams don't. And even within the teams, you know, if you don't get along with your team, and now your team has to somehow interact with other teams or not interact with other teams, it's a lot, you know. And it's one of those things to be mindful of. It's one of those things to be mindful of. But there's also a reason why I'm here, right? There's a reason why I'm here. So we got to ride this out. We got to ride this out. But I will say, like I was saying, with this feeling safe, is that ever since there's been some shifts, and starting from within myself, because I have been able to release certain energies within me, I have now put myself in a position where I'm just saying, all right, some of these things that I'm experiencing are in my mind. And they're in my mind because I was in a situation previously where that was my reality. And so now that reality is in my mind. And in order for me to feel safe in my current reality, I had to remove those thoughts from my mind, be present in my reality, and allow this to be in my mind now, so that when I go out into the world, I don't feel attacked by my past because it's not even in my mind. I would be present in my present because that's what's in my mind. And therefore, I would be able to set a good foundation for whatever is to be my future, because this is the space of where I'm setting that foundation. a space of love, a space of peace, a space of calmness, a space of gratitude, a space of stability, a space of wholeness within myself, you know, a space of joy. And for me, if I'm being honest, it's taken some time to get used to. Because I feel like, on a level, I personally have always been this individual, but it hasn't been safe for me to be this individual. I would go out in the world and be this joyous, happy go lucky, wonderful, bright individual. And somehow that was a signal for people to take advantage of me. Somehow that was a signal for people to use me. Somehow that was a signal for people to not protect me. Well, no more. No more. If you can't love me, if you can't protect me, if you can't honor me, if you can't let me be, then get away from me. In closing out this message, we have the Pillar of Light. Now, this is from my Isis book. I've had this book longer than I've had all of those other decks, but not as long as I've had my Tarot of the Ages deck. So, in order of oldest to youngest, it would be Tarot of the Ages, Isis. You know, City of Oracles and the Rider Waite is a toss up, because no, I got the City of Oracle first. The Rider Waite was a gift that I got afterward. And then I got the African Goddess. And that's how that goes. Descent of the Star of Isis. Beings of light and divinity are calling you now. They wish to connect with you more strongly, and you are being guided to strengthen your energy field to allow more of the divine light that seeks to flow through your body safely and into expression. Beloved initiate, you are called to allow more divine energy and light to emanate from your body to help build your light body, so that love and healing of the cosmic feminine energies of the Star of Isis can descend through you, offering healing and light and assistance to humanity, and setting your own heart and soul on fire with divine love and passion. Do we really gotta be set on fire? Like, it is suggested that you first build and strengthen your natural pillar of light within your body, your energy body, like building a broadband cable, so that you can receive energy transmissions into your being more easily. It is suggested that you first build without such preparation, it would be like trying to run high voltage electricity through wires that were not equipped to handle it. Some fires, some fire and damage would occur, and the practice would not be safe or sensible. The pillar of light is the energy tube of pure white light that connects the soul star chakra above your head and the earth star chakra beneath your feet. The star of Isis will descend from above your soul star chakra, pouring in grace, light, and healing power until it eventually flows like a river into your earth star chakra, blessing the earth through your body. The star of Isis, also known as Sirius, rests in a state of bliss, joy, and has a soul presence of heart, great strength, and stunning spiritual light. This is the consciousness seeking to manifest more fully in service through you now, beloved initiate. You are becoming more and more ready to sustain such high vibrations. If you pull this oracle of the Lady of the Stars as well, then you are encouraged to start this practice on a daily basis as soon as possible. There are higher frequencies waiting to connect more consciously with you for spiritual enlightenment, healing, and guidance, but you will need to prepare your energy field for the connection so the energy can flow without undue stress or strain on your body. Once you start this practice, you will get a sense of how often feels right for you. If you do it too often, perhaps more than once a day, you may feel lightheaded or ungrounded, too hot or cranky, hormonal or overheated inside, out of balance emotionally, and just not enjoying your practice. Moderation will lead you more quickly into success. It is recommended that you attempt this practice no more than once per day and for several minutes at a time, building up to however long feels right for you. As you grow, you will feel the light descending and the energy ascending more and more strongly in your physical body. At first, you may feel energy, or you may not, and that is fine. The exercise will work, and your awareness of it at a conscious level will grow with practice. You will also find that, like a better internet connection, as you continue with the practice, your ability to be in conscious communication with your spiritual guidance, to channel healing and other spiritual activities, such as meditation, will be stronger, clearer, easier, and more powerful. Remember to have mercy if you are then using these abilities with others. They may not be used to the degree of electricity that is coming through you, and you want to facilitate good, not cause harm to the person you are helping. Stay in your heart. Don't be attached to being powerful, and allow the Divine Lady Isis to manage the power that flows from you to another by asking for her help in unconditional love. Pillar of light as the star of Isis descends. Rest quietly in a place where you will not be disturbed and close your eyes. Imagine deep beneath you in the earth there is a ball of radiant light. It rises up through your body, connects with your heart, and then flows out through the top of your head until it reaches a ball of radiant light hovering above your head. The light above your head begins to flow down to your heart and continues on until it reaches the ball of light beneath your feet in the earth. Allow this pattern of light ascending from the earth to the heart and out through the crown and descending from the crown to the heart and down into the earth to continue for several moments, breathing easily as you intend this to happen. After a few moments, you become aware again of the light above your head, and this time of a light beyond that. It glows and radiates great love. Allow this light to descend a little towards the crown of your head and towards your heart. Allow as much or as little of this light as wishes to come, trusting that it is intelligent and will flow with wisdom. When you are ready, imagine that the light beneath your feet in the earth becomes like a magnet, pulling all the light that has entered from your being from above deep into the earth. Breathe into your heart, and when you are ready, just open your eyes. Incantation for the pillar of light. You can say this incantation at the beginning of your day for protection and growth. And it is a good practice to say it after a difficult meeting or exchange with another where you feel some negativity may have passed between you and you wish to be cleansed and centered in your own clear light once more. Pillar of light, burning bright. Earth star below, soul star above. Burn away all that is not light. Transform all into unconditional love. Star of Isis, descend. Your blessing and peace without end. Grace me now with peace and protection, completely embraced by divine perfection. Pillar of light, burning bright. Earth star below, soul star above. Burn away all that is not light. Transform all into unconditional love. Star of Isis, descend. Your blessing and peace without end. Give me grace now. Grace me now with peace and protection, completely embraced by divine perfection. One more time. Pillar of lights, burning bright. Earth star below and soul star above. Burn away all that is not light. Transform all into unconditional love. Star of Isis, descend. Your blessing and peace without end. Grace me now with peace and protection, completely embraced by divine perfection. Okay. Now, we didn't really get into the pillar of light before I got into the pillar of light. However, before I got into the pillar of light, I had already talked about me being the light and shining so bright, and all the different ways that that happens. And if I can't be that way around you, then you can get out of my sight. Because the truth is, if I'm shining so bright, I don't even see you. Because I am so bright. It's like being on stage. When the lights hit you and you're on stage, I don't see the audience. I don't see your negative comments. I don't even see you. I'm not aware that it exists. I just do my thing. You know? And I make sure that when I do my thing, I do it to the level of perfection that I know that I can deliver. I give my best. I give my all. I give my everything. So that when I go back and see the situation, or if anybody were to say something, what they cannot say, because that's usually what the comment is. I wish I could, in so many words. Rather than you did. And I'm so grateful I got to witness. And how can I support? And are you going to keep doing? You know, give thanks. And it's interesting because how come we got us a new neighbor and the person who moved in it is not somebody who I will. And it's not one of those situations where it's like, oh, I'm being closed-minded, da, 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 da. No, it's very much like, nah, we mad different. We mad different. You know what I mean? Like, you are a mother with a child that is young enough to still get breastfed. You know, I'm over here healing from my past life, stepping into my new life with no, you know what I'm saying? But you never know. I never thought I would be the person to even have a children, but and I'm not going to say we just going to say fuck it, because that's not something you just say fuck it to and be like, oh yeah, let's just go ahead and be. No, that's, you know what I'm saying? That's not one of them things. That is not one of them things. But what I am saying is that the idea of it doesn't disgust me the way that it used to. Now it's just kind of like, you know what? If I'm being smart about the situation right now, it doesn't make sense to. You know what I mean? right now, it wouldn't make no kind of sense. It wouldn't make no kind of sense. So if I were to end up in that situation now or within the next year or so, it would very much be like, so what happened? Because what happened, And I feel like I would be doing the same thing that my mother did. This the cycle that I gotta break. She wasn't planning on having kids. She was just out and about having a good old time. No problem. Enjoy your life. Had a hysterectomy first. You still gotta worry about STDs, but you ain't gotta worry about no babies. Because there is no oven to cook nobody in. That's one route. I could also deal with a man specifically who already got snipped. Even then, it's a risk because it just is. But there's that. So, I guess with that being said, reading is done. I'm gonna see if I can tag this video with the other video, and yeah. Now this is weird. I'll put the 360 on. I'll put the 360 on. So now I'm looking at this. But on my phone, it's not giving that. This is very interesting. So now my question is, hmm, okay. So how do I take that off? This is this is interesting because I feel like at some point, you know what? It was when I was setting it up. It was when I was setting it up. All right, I'm gonna have to end the live. All right, love you. Mwah. So we came back to the same stream. No, I want to take it off the 360. All right, so I went in. Now this don't make no sense because I took off the 360. How we take off the 360 and it's still there? It's still doing it. First of all, that don't even make no sense because I'm in the camera.